What's up, bro? I hope you're fucking killing it today. I wanted to make a video really fast to show you kind of the things that I do whenever I'm getting stuck and having a bit of a shit day, because it's not that today is particularly shit, but I just got bailed on 3 separate social occasions. Right? So I'm trying to show you that this shit happens to everybody, even me too. Like, someone who is arguably pretty great social skills and is able to build good relationships, like, shit still happens, man. And like, all right, so I had an appointment, a workout session, and a hangout tonight where I was gonna go see one of my buddies who lives like an hour and a half away. So I'd plan to drive like an hour and a half and everything. And an appointment, for those of you who don't know, is just it's like a date, except I'm being straight up and honest from the very start. Not dating, not looking for a girlfriend. Because that's another goal of mine, is to just be authentic and honest as fuck, even if sometimes it might disappoint people. It's a cool goal for you to have too, bro. But anyway, these 3 things happened to me. And at first, like, my mind, and I'm sure your mind, first goes to the place where it's like, oh, maybe I'm just like not a cool guy. Maybe people just don't like hanging out with me. And so I'm just not attractive enough. I'm just not socially fun. But the thing is, shit like this just happens, man. It doesn't matter how attractive you are, how socially, like, amazing you are, like how good you can make other people feel just by being around you. Like, shit's gonna happen, man. There are going to be days whenever you get bailed on a few times in a row. There are going to be days whenever you feel lonely and you feel like shit, just because that's kind of just how life goes, man. It's up and down. And on those days, like, you have to have the right kind of thinking to be able to avoid just getting like depressed and wanting to stay in bed all day. Because like, not long ago, that probably would have been what I did. But now I've learned, after being alone for periods and knowing how to deal with the stresses of that, and how to understand like how my brain works and how to combat the negative thinking that I get, and that you probably get too. So like, if you're also having these negative thoughts of you're a shit guy just because some people can't hang out on a day or they bail on you, bro, first of all, you have to just let go of that thought. Because the first idea that you're gonna have is that either I need to think this thought away, I need to stop thinking about this thought, or it's going to be indulging in that, right? So you're thinking, I'm a shit guy. Let me think of all these reasons why I'm a shit guy and just prove it to myself. So with either of those 2 things, you're just going to be thinking more negative thoughts over and over again. So what I have found works the absolute best, and what I've read about that like literal actual psychologists tell like therapy patients to do, is just stop giving the negative thought any attention at all. Just completely move on from it. Take a breath. And then try and think about something else. Try and forcefully put positive thoughts in your mind. Because even if you're forcefully putting a positive thought in your mind, you're naturally going to start thinking more positively from that thought. You can't control your first thought, but you can control your second, and your third, and your fourth. So the idea is that you get on this positive thought train, and eventually, at some point, you get good enough that I'm having a negative thought. Oh man, what am I gonna do? I am going to think of a positive thought and not give it any attention. And eventually, once this becomes habit, because you start to do it over and over again, you're gonna think, man, what's that thing that Luke said whenever he was having a tough time? What did he do? If you start replacing it with a positive thought every time, it's going to become habitual. Your negative thoughts just lead to thinking positively, right? And I'm not saying this is going to solve all your problems, or that you are never going to have a negative thought again, or you're not going to have a bad day, but it makes your bad days a lot better, bro. Because now I have the negative thought of like, oh, my buddy just bailed on me, I must be an unlikable guy. And then I'm kind of like, okay, I just had that thought. Let me think of some positive future thing that could happen that I could get really excited about. Well, bro said he wants to hang out in a couple weeks instead. So I'm just gonna think positively about that. And I'm gonna think, man, I am a sick guy, because if I wasn't, he wouldn't have rescheduled with me. There you go, bro. Anyway, that's some Luke thoughts. That's how Luke brain works. I hope you're having a fucking killer day, bro.